Hello, my name's Caffy. I'm just some mad old bat, but I've got a soft spot for Shrewsbury and for storytelling. I'm not a journalist, I'm not an author, I'm not a writer, but I am actually compelled to keep writing. There's notes all over the place because things just come in your head and you have to get them out, otherwise we'd never get any sleep. Um, anyway, let me not ramble on because I know this is meant to be quite brief. I don't want to go off on tangents. So I will start with, well, an intro that's appropriate to library, especially because, well, apart from being clumsy, I also, my eyes get tired from being on screens all day. So I haven't been in a library to borrow a book for some time, but I do believe that they are central to any community and every community. Like I'm a fan of music venues. I feel the same about them. But I think that, books, as well as just for getting information of all kinds, meeting, finding out what's happening locally, the library is the place. So I do more audio books, so I can just give my eyes a rest, maybe put some cucumber on them and listen to a story. I'm quite into older writing, actually. It's not always so PC, but I don't have a TARDIS. There's nothing I could do about it. And I just think it's interesting to see the roots of where things came from. Like, as I say, I like a story. It's all about the story. Um, there's some questions for everybody as well, which I think is really good. Sorry if I ignore. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just trying to remember things because I get muddled. But there's some questions here. So to introduce myself, I think as I said, I'm not an author or a journalist. I'm a music promoter. But that does include writing, even press releases to promote something, to invite people to things, just to let them know that something is happening or something is released, or to try and get them to listen to something. Now, I do work at grassroots level, very DIY, quite punky, instinct, made up as I go along. So although I hope that my answers might be of help to you, please forgive me if you're just thinking, what the you on about, lady? Because actually, I have an instinctive way of working, and that I don't know what's going to happen. Somebody calls out of the blue, and I react to it, or somebody says, "We need this doing. How are we going to do it?" And I think of an idea, but this actually usually different every time, depending. But there are a few basic things that from my days as a professional, well, as professional as I could get, that still work today. Manners aside, they become a standard really if you want to get your way and get people to help you. Then help yourself, I suppose, is the first one. But anyway, like I say, not get carried away. Blah 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 blah. Oh, had to tell a bit about my background. Okay, my job title is I'm a love pirate, which is kind of just mutinying against how even just about how you're supposed to give yourself job titles. I'm self-employed, so that's what I've employed myself as. It's just mutinying against what I think is like a corrupt world. And what if you wanted to revolt and try to bring a little bit of love and purity? There is a lot of it about, but there's not enough right now. So it's just like as much as you can give, and I'm very lucky to work with the kind of artists that do that. So quite quickly, are you? I should do your questions first. Never mind me. Blah blah blah. Me. Right. God, when I wrote notes, it's all like all about us, us, us. Well, I'm a promoter, you forgive me, that's what I do. Can I explain what Rocklands, Joyzine and Artbeat are about? Oh God. Pardon me, sorry, I'm gonna have to leave that in because I don't know how to edit them back together. Rocklands and Artbeat. Rocklands is a music promotion. It's made up. We live over the river. If you watch EastEnders, there's a U-bend, and we live over the river from Docklands. So in my imagination, it was a kind of a Scotland. So I called it Rocklands, where lovers rock meets rockers love. And yeah, anything can happen there. And then it does. It's a kind of like sci-fi comedy land in my head. And then when you believe in that magic, it works. And then the art beat, it reminded me of like just beat poetry, and how art interacts with beat, but is also like a heartbeat. So that's Rockland's art beat. And Joyzine, friends of ours who share the joy, which is our motto. And yeah, it's just a lot of people living this kind of love pirate life where they probably met at gigs, or and they enjoy art, literature, and thinking, debating, talking. Lots of I'm a Mannix fan as well, so they taught me things beyond 4-letter words. Hello Tracy, what are top 3 tips for promoting on social media? I suppose the first one would be, this sounds really bit basic, but say for instance, before you post, because you can't edit on Twitter, as soon as that goes out into the ether, that goes out into however many people are following you. So with Instagram and Facebook you can edit, but if it goes out on Twitter, as so many people in the news are finding out, that obviously we're not celebrities or anything, but still somebody who you might be doing business with can be looking at it and going, so think about what you tweet, and think, do I actually really want to send that? Because you can't edit it, and if it's sort of if it's bad and you see it's, oh no, and then you have to like delete it or something like that. So just kind of look at what you've done, breathe, and decide, do I actually need to send that? Because also, so this is number 2, is do you actually need to post that? Because have you actually got the time and energy to get into an argument with somebody? Because some people just seem to sit there like, oh, I want to disagree. Oh yeah, you'll do. And it's like, mate, we're not doing that. We're trying to be promoting and be positive. So think of a pub car park. Is it worth it? So I just think on the positive side, succinct, clear, and possibly well illustrated. Maybe a great image or art or something that will draw people's eye to it, because it social media seems to have an attention span thing going on there. If you're working with very limited budget, where is the money best invested? I've just worked with something very low budget, and I spent the money on getting a proper PR. I do PR, but I'm grassroots. Very good job done by Will at Boutique, who's next level and knows more sites, and got like a healthy amount of album reviews in the independent press, which is what we were focusing on, while trying to get bigger press, but it's a really small band that they aren't really aware of. Just want some reviews, some feedback, and yeah, that worked out for where the band are at, and for it depends on who you want to target and who has the contacts and at what level you want to go. Obviously people who are regularly talking to national arts desks cost absolutely loads, because you basically it's almost a toss up between, do you take out an advert or do you pay for a PR to get this? And obviously there's no guarantee with public relations, because it's down to the people, a lot of factors, who, do they want to do it, do they like it, are they interested, are they, lots of things like that. So yeah, I did some social media adverts, but the event had to be postponed due to the lockdown. So I wasn't really, I can't really tell you how that went, sorry. I struggle with what I feel is the kiss-ass nature of marketing. Oh, hell yeah. That is, yeah, that can be true, and it can be who you know, who your parents are, how much money you've got. But, there is some cronyism, but sometimes it can be something out of the blue that just captures people's imagination. This week it was a 10-year-old punk fanzine writer who's going around just talking to like all the bands that kind of like everybody wants to talk to, but thankfully people are willing to give a 10-year-old the time of day, and he's doing really well with that. It could be, you don't know where it's going to where the interest is going to come from. God, sorry, my answers are a bit long. Hazel asks from writing level. This is a really good idea. A tweet a day story. I'm gonna see if I can find out more about that. I think it's like a fantastic idea. When I'm growing things on Twitter, it's through hashtags that I can return to. But with what you're doing, as it's growing, if you don't want anything else on that Twitter line, and you have anywhere else that you can give progress updates on what you're doing, like getting really good writers following you, then you can keep coming back to that. But yeah, hashtags like do help, because every now and then you can catch up with it. But I'll find out more about that, because actually it sounds like you're doing a really good job already, and if you can get 77 people in a week, you actually, like really on it. You're doing something very right. I should be asking you for trips. Rosie asks, what do you think about self-publishing? Oh, I love self-publishing. I think it's empowering. I'm a fan of pamphlets, leaflets, zines, all kinds, as well as like standard books, people making their own books. I mean, as in binding, or going and getting their book made for them, because it's posterity. So it's poetry that it's just going to be there until I don't know, the earth burns or drowns or whatever. But it's there, and it's sometimes rather than you could go around trying to get people to publish it, but at least you know it's done if you do it, and you've got something to promote. My sister's got some great poetry books, and yeah, I just like how she's done them. They look cute, and you could just read them, take them on a train, old school, and they don't run out of batteries. I like it a lot. I kind of what did I do? Did I miss one in the world? Yeah, so to promote it, I mean, I'm a fan of emails. I just think that's where business gets done, rather than there's a million different places where you can leave messages. But sometimes people say to me, did you get my message? And it's like, maybe, I don't know. This, like, was it text? Is it Messenger? Is it WhatsApp? Is it, one of the social medias? There's just too many places. I like email, because if you say, did they get my email, I can go and search for it.
You have mail.
And that's actually where a lot of, more serious business is done. I think, I'm not, the kids have got it sussed how to do it. They've got their own ways of doing things, which is great. I'm no kid, so I'm kind of old school, old fashioned. Any insight into how Amazon algorithms work? Not particularly, other than that when one of my friends is an author, and whenever he mentions what he's doing, he brings it back to his Amazon URL. So they must be getting hits from all these different places, because a little bit of algorithms is sending things back. They want you to send things back to the to the link to mention it. Maybe mention it every couple of days so that you're not driving people, or an aspect of it, or how it's doing. I think that must be doing something right, because anyway, he got to like a top of the book charts on Amazon. So yes, he must be doing something right. He's doing one on Instagram at the moment, American Animal, and people are sending him in artwork daily. And between the tagging and the hashtags, that's got to help as well. Steve, multimedia, what do you advise for best promotion? I'm liking video content, video clips. You know, I know that people are doing a lot of things on Zoom at the moment, having to, and recording on that and creating. Got quite a few friends who are getting green screens and stuff and doing their own promo. You're basically creating your own advertising. For how I work, I do a little bit of the old-fashioned physical mail out, well, before lockdown anyway, bit of physical mail out, and yeah, personalized emails. The video clips are about like 30 seconds to a minute long, and it can be either promoting something with a bit of music, art, images, or whatever. And but yeah, quick, because you know, I kind of like 15 seconds, 30 seconds is great. 15 seconds of fame. Woohoo! Gosh, am I going? Oh, I'm going over. I'm going to have to cut this down. God, I don't know. Give long answers, don't I? Sorry about that. What do you see development for the future being? RE multimedia. Well, there's always like a new app like TikTok, or as I previously mentioned, Zoom and etc. The kids have actually got the handle on this. And I think that if there are any like teenage promotion companies, and if they're not, there should be, they would actually be very good people to approach and go like, okay, can you make this pop for me? And one, it'd be great experience for them. Two, the interaction is always good. And three, I just really dig how they get their communication across, and I wouldn't even pretend that I could do these. So these are all just ideas anyway, and I have to talk really quickly. One of the things that we're doing at the moment is a collective of music sites have put together balcony online music festivals for charity. Again, I can see that going somewhere, because it would also work as an advertising stroke marketing platform to instantly hit a dozen, you know, but not bad profiled sites. Right, okay, I think I've actually gone over the time, and I'm sorry I don't talk fast enough, or like I say, I'm clumsy. But thank you ever so much for letting me rattle on. Yeah, thank you. Ooh.